Yo, what's going on, guys? Being a boomer in the woods, as you can see. I'm going to tell you guys a little secret. One simple trick. One simple secret. Seriously, though, I know I've talked a lot in the past about doing like going through the whole interview process, right? And all right, so let me preface this first. If you're out there and you're like, this dude doesn't know what he's talking about. This guy does not look like an engineer. This guy looks like a stinking meathead. That's fine if you think that way. But if you're willing to not think like that, if you're willing to not be prejudiced, take this for what it's worth. I've been an engineer at the largest privately owned telecom company in the United States. I've been an engineer at one of the largest financial information companies in the United States. I've been an engineer for the second largest farmers insurance, really it's crop insurance company in the world. It's in the entire planet. Okay. I've been an engineer for banks and then also some casinos. And on top of that, something that I've done outside of regular work is over the last few years, I've actually helped a lot of people kind of go through this process other than just learning to code, right? If you're someone in DD, you know who you are, you know who I'm talking to. But all right, so, and if you still don't think I know what I'm talking about, that's fine. Because what I'm going to say is going to sound kind of like really cheesy and dumb, but I really can't explain. it. But I've found this to have worked, or at least not really quote unquote worked, but been like this way for a lot of things in life. So one thing I've noticed is that if you're interviewing for a job, and let's just say like particularly software engineer, okay. Maybe you just graduated college and you have like a CS degree. Maybe you just finished a boot camp. Maybe you're self-taught, whatever the situation is, but you've never actually had a job title that says that you're a software engineer on paper or you're a developer, because at this point, and if you're not that new, then you probably have something that's called Imposter Syndrome or something like that. Because right now you feel as if you don't have a title given to you by some other kind of entity, that you're not capable or you're not going to be respected. And hey, sometimes that might be right. But if you're feeling like that and you're going into the interviews and you just reek of desperation, and there's a couple other things that you could just kind of like vibes, I guess you could say, that you could give off to people. They're going to think, they're just going to automatically think that you're not worth anything. And if they do give you a job, it's going to be like minimal pay. All right. And it's probably going to be kind of abusive. Like you might have like a front end junior developer title, but you'll be doing like 3 people's worth of work. Anyway, what is the point of all that? Okay. So I've talked about the interview process several different times, right? And I've never really talked about like the mentality, but in all honesty, one of the things that I think is the most important is this, just kind of how you're thinking and feeling about it and how you feel about yourself and like what kind of mindset that you're in. For whatever reason, people that are attracted to becoming a software engineer tend to be a little bit more on like the nerdy, introverted side, right? And, probably have maybe like some of them might have a little bit of like lack of social skills, etc. And they're kind of nervy kind of people, you know what I mean? Like they're nervy, right? And, you need to realize that before you even go do any of these interviews, one of the most important things that I think you need to think to yourself is, all right, like there's like, just because I don't get this one interview, like, or because I don't get accepted at this first interview, second, third, fourth, fifth, 100th, doesn't mean that I'm a loser. And it doesn't mean that I'm not a software engineer. You don't need somebody to tell you whether you are an engineer or not, okay? It's not like you're a doctor where you legally have to go to school in order to practice medicine on people, because otherwise people could die. And you could make that argument that software could kill people too, and that probably needs to happen, which that's a different topic for a different day, I guess. But you don't need to, the way that things are right now, you don't need to have someone else tell you what you're doing, right? What are the requirements for being a software engineer? Well, Do you know how to develop software? Do you know how to fix the software? Can you just piece things together from scratch? Can you go from like a text editor or an IDE to having a fully functionable piece of software? Okay, well, if you've done that, just know this. Probably more than 60-70% of people that like get a job as a software engineer from whatever method that they went about acquiring said job, they probably, chances are 60-70% of them probably have never, ever gone from scratch, from start to finish, and built an entire fully functionable piece of software on their own. Okay, so if you can at least do that and have done that, you're already better than 60-70% of them. Okay, so knowing that and thinking that, and maybe like shifting the way that you think more towards exactly that, then hopefully that will help you kind of like have a little bit less of like an attitude of I lack. Okay, I'm lacking. All right. Another thing to think about to make you kind of to make you not kind of, but to actually become and be less desperate, because you just need to. All right. I know, like I said, this kind of sounds kind of foolish, but like any kind of human interaction, if you are coming from like a state of like desperation, then even like not everyone's like a nice person. Okay, not everyone's like, hey, I have this agenda that I want to go out and help people. All right, like in fact, most people in the world are not like that. Most people actually have the opposite like belief sets in life. They want to take something from people before they can get stuff taken from them. All right, that's just how people are. So instead of, if you get your first interview and you don't get accepted, they decline to send you an email like, sorry, we regretfully inform you that, you know, we found someone else, blah, 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 whatever it is. All right, first of all, most of the time, they're just going to, the rejection email, it's going to be like a copy paste, like carbon copy template, like as politically correct as possible. Okay. Second of all, if instead of thinking like, fuck, I didn't get it. And even if you continually fail interviews, if you don't get it, instead of thinking I'm lacking, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve to be an engineer, I'm not smart enough to be an engineer, I'm not good enough to be an engineer. Instead of thinking like that, and that this was a bad situation to waste my time, instead of thinking like that, think to yourself, what can I take away from that interview process? Whether it was myself, the way that I was acting, my personality, could I have been like more politically correct? Could you have done that a little bit better? Because come on, we know, you guys know, we got to kind of be like that in the modern times, all right? You can't just like, you got to be careful what you say, right? And also, like, what if they asked you technical questions, if it was a take-home technical assessment, what did you not understand? What were you not able to either like code or explain that maybe next time you could learn from? And then when you go back to start applying to places again, and then you get another interview, that's one more thing that you know now that you don't have to worry or be afraid to be asked in an interview, because now you know the answer. Hope that helps, guys. I'm out. See ya.